Hey guys, welcome back. This is Tarun again, back with another fitness video. So I just kind of shaved my beard off. I don't know, I was just getting sick of it. So trying new looks as part of my grooming series, and I'm going to post another video on that shortly. So before that happens, in this video I want to talk about the enemy when it comes to diet, or the enemy we think it's the enemy. You know what I'm talking about? The fats. You know, the word fat itself is so scary that the moment you say it out loud, fat, I love fats, it's like, you give that person another look and say, hey, what's wrong with the guy, right? So in this video I want to address this biggest myth that's bothering all of us. It was bothering me, and the minute I changed it, it just happened, whatever goal I wanted to achieve. What is that myth? The myth is, in order to lose weight or in order to lose fat, the first thing people do is get rid of fat from their diet. Now this came back in in 90s, when in the US, when the American started talking about the ill effects of eating fat, and how low fat diet is the way to go about it, and you should completely remove carbs from the diet, you should only focus on protein. And from there onwards the trend just friggin' followed, and till date, especially in India, we're still a victim of that. So I want to tell you why this video is that if you really want to lose fat, what you really need to do? You really need to eat fat. You heard me right. Let me repeat it. In order to lose fat, you have to eat fat. But remember, there are certain caveats. The caveat is that obviously your main source in terms of your macro breakdown, your major food portion has to be protein, and then say about 50 to 60% has to come from protein, and 30 to 40% should come from actually fats, and 10% from carbs. Now there's a reason why fat makes you lose fat. So I'm going to talk about the good fats, the bad fat, the ugly fat, and the fats you should avoid. The good fats, we all want to know, hey, the fats are really good, but what are those fats? So the good fat are actually the unsaturated fats. Unsaturated you also call MUFA, M-U-F-A, monounsaturated fatty acids. So what they typically do is they raise your good cholesterol, which is, I think, the HDL is what it's called, and lower the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL. I'm not going to get into the technicalities there, because if you were to get into technicalities, it will only confuse you, and then I'll become one of those internet junkies who's just reading out on one of those pages that's right there, and it's confusing you. So I'm only going to simplify it. So simple words: unsaturated fats are your friends. They're good friends, and they can be found in almonds, cashews, peanuts, peanut butter. That's why you must have seen a lot of people recommending peanut butter as a good source of fat. That is one of the reasons, because it's really good for you. So if you really want to kind of add fats in your diet, focus on unsaturated fats. But remember, fat contain almost double the calories, which means if 1 gram of protein contain 4 calories, 1 gram of fat contains almost 9 calories. So that's why I said you got your blend, your macro breakdown has to be about 50 to 60% of protein and 30 to 40% of fat, because it will actually get accumulated. If you were to calculate it as a whole, it'll lead to almost double the calories in terms of your protein intake too. So you got to remember that. You got to know your numbers right. So the good fats, the unsaturated, and also there's another source of good fats called polyunsaturated acids. Now these guys are also really good. They do pretty much the same. They raise your good cholesterol, they lower your bad cholesterol, and they can be actually found in they're called the omega-3s. So you must have seen, hey, you got to take your fish oil, you got to take your canola oil, you got to have cod liver oil. So this is the category of polyunsaturated fats. They're available in tablets, they're available in syrups also at time, and you can actually, I think the best source of omega-3s that I feel is when I was a non-vegetarian, I used to have was salmon or fish. It's amazing. If I turn into a non-vegetarian again, what is the first thing, what is the only thing that I'm missing right now being a vegetarian is fish. If anybody who wants to lose weight or get ripped, I think fish is one of those staple items. I think it's maybe because it suits me. So I always say that, you know, they're good fat, you know, they really help you with the skin quality. Yeah, so that's a really miss. So coming back to the good fat, so polyunsaturated acids, omega-3s are one of the sources. You may want to jack up on your fish or you know, your omega-6, like, you know, canola oil, flaxseed, walnuts. So these are the good fats. Now I'm going to talk about the bad fats, which are the saturated fats. The saturated fats are solid, pretty much that you will find them in meat. Any meat product bound to have saturated fats, you know, and also some of them in poultry. Poultry is your cream, butter, and you know what? And the other thing, milk. So that's why, you know, people who are following my transformation, I always tell you guys that, you know, don't have too much of milk. Milk may not be good for you because milk contains a lot of sugar, and, you know, natural sugar, which may not be good for you, because I've seen it in my own example that every time I start taking milk, and I love milk, you know, it's, you know, the sudden I feel bloated. Two, you know, milk really attacks my abdominal fat. I don't know why milk loves my abdomen. Actually, come to think of it, everything I eat gets stuck onto my stomach. I don't know why, man. Every food loves my stomach, man. Every food I can't know why. It pisses me off. But especially milk. Milk also attacks your abdominal area, which is what, you know, I always tell people stay away from it. It's one of those saturated fats I always avoid, and I always tell people to avoid it. Now comes the bad, the ugly, which is your trans fat, you know, which is your processed foods, the junk food. You know, I really don't want to talk about it. You pretty much know all this. So if you really want to avoid the bad fat, is your trans fat, you know, just have a look at every label at the back, and you will see that, you know, if it has trans fat or not. Chances are anything which is processed bound to be high on trans fat, so avoid it. Now I want to address this topic, which is that how eating fats can actually make you lose fat. Now, I did a video a couple of days back on something called a keto diet. Now, keto diet backbone is replacing fats with carbs, not replacing carbs with fat. So, having fats as your main source of food. You know why obviously I tried it and I kind of couldn't cope up with it. It's probably because, you know, I wasn't strong enough mentally, because I'm so used to eating carbs. But if you really want to lose fat by eating fat, try a keto diet, which is going to be very, very effective. Because, you know, think about it, if you were to have 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, which is equivalent to somewhere between 150 to 200 odd calories, equivalent to 1.5 chapatis, you'll feel a lot fuller. So that's why, you know, having good fat can actually replace your bad carbs, which eventually, if you were to holistically, you know, kind of get down to numbers, it impacts your weight loss goal. So I always recommend people, if you really want to lose weight, or if you really want to get fit, or if you really want to get ripped, do not avoid fats, because fats are not only good for your skin quality, it improves your tone of skin and texture, but also helps you lose weight. Like, for example, if you want to you know, go for a workout, always, you know, have like a 45 minutes to 50 minutes. You can have it actually have a complex carb, like a, you know, a potato or a sweet potato. But you can also sometimes take, you know, a tablespoon of peanut butter. These fats are so effective, they make you feel fuller, you know, if you're following a strict diet, you know, because they are almost double the calorie intake. They help you feel more satiated. You don't get those hunger pangs, you know, you feel good about yourself, you know, you don't feel as if, oh shit man, there's this torture that I'm going through. So guys, always as a thumb rule, never eliminate fats from your diet, because at the end of the day, you know, fat makes you want to eat less because they're packed on calories. 2, you have to jack up on your good fat, which I talked about, you know, your walnuts, your peanuts, your omega-3s. You know, if you're a non-vegetarian, man, you're lucky. Fish is your best friend, man. You know, have as much fish. You know, I'll give you an example. You know, I read, you know, I don't know how true is it, because you know, I always bash these Bollywood celebrities, but every article of every film star, non-vegetarian film star, will always tell you, from John Abraham to all these guys, saying that, you know what, before a photo shoot or before getting ready for any of the movies, you know, we kind of pack up on our fish intake, because fish is not only light, but 2, it's very good for, you know, it doesn't bloat you up or gives you that water retention. 3, it's also loaded with proteins. So these are some of the things that you really want to think about. If you are even if you want to go a step ahead and try out different cuisines, you can also try sushi. But the only thing I don't like about sushi is Japanese food, guys. If you really are a rice, so it's a blend of protein and carbs together, because sushi is nothing but a raw fish wrapped up in rice. So rice kind of kills it there, but hey, once in a while it doesn't hurt, because you're also getting your protein and fat intake with it too. So nutshell, summary, net, don't avoid fats, guys. You really need fats in your diet. If you really, whatever be your goal with, fat loss, muscle gain, whatever it is, please do not get rid of fats. Fats would not make you fat. It's your own bloody diet loaded with carbs will make you fat, and your inability or your lack of time in exercising will make you fat. Fat won't make you fat. I hope this gets loud and clear into your head. Any one of you have any questions around this, feel free to reach out to me either on my YouTube, Facebook or WhatsApp channel, and I'll be very happy to take this discussion forward. So until we meet again, peace.